Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. And for this particular episode, I have a very special guest. I have Cody Tucker from the Cody Tucker Show. How are you? How are you going today, man?
Hey, man, I am great. I really appreciate you having me on, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, happy to have you on. As we've been talking before this episode started, I think we've been talking about for about a month now, roughly, give or take.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But no, I'm glad to have you on, and it's glad we could finally do this, especially with the time difference.
Dude,
because
yeah.
As we're recording, it's 11 o'clock Sunday Australian time. And how about you?
It is 6 p.m. So Central Time. I'm in Texas, so yeah, 6 p.m. here.
And it's Saturday, isn't it?
Saturday, yeah. It is yesterday today.
Yeah. I can tell you the future if you like. It's wet, it's rainy, and very cloudy.
Okay, yeah. Hey, actually, that's the same here. So we may not be. I don't know. My nose is going to start bleeding. This is too much, but yeah.
But by all means, man, please tell all the listeners all about your show. You know, what you've done is incredible. You know, according to YouTube, you started in October 2020. You currently have 589 subscribers. I'm one of them. And the fact is, like, some of your videos hit, 5K or even higher. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. Well, I think I think one of them has about 80,000, but who's counting? But
it's actually 80,000.
No, none of that has anything to do with me. It is strictly because on a lot of the episodes of the Cody Tucker Show, my guests are adult film actresses. So I put
that's what I need to invest in.
Exactly.
That's where I need to go.
Yeah, I'm putting more of the numbers on them. I think more people are coming in there to see them than to see me. So,
no, they want to see the host.
Well, I appreciate that. But so it's the Cody Tucker Show, comes out every Tuesday. Episodes are kind of random. It's either going to be just me ranting about pop culture, whatever's on in the news.
I feel you.
Or I may have a guest, whether it be most of the time, like either someone in the adult film industry or a comedian, musicians, just kind of pretty random bag of people that kind of come on. So, but yeah,
that keeps it interesting.
Oh yeah.
That's, you got the variation of all the different people. But no, I've checked a couple episodes, and you're really good. I love your background, like your all your logos and everything. Like that's set up so well. What made you start this? Like, what was like the clicker for you that you're like, I'm doing this?
Well, I was like a co-host of a podcast that some friends of mine had started, and I was just kind of mostly just helping out with like the tech side of it, like basically a producer. And then I started like kind of contacting people to be guests. I was like, oh, well, I should just have my own, and I could just talk to whoever, I'm interested in. And I started reaching out to people in like the adult film industry, because I was like, well, I don't really ever see these people being like on podcasts, but I'm sure they're pretty fascinating people. And sure enough, they're the greatest human beings on the planet. And so I just kind of started my own from there, and just kind of wanted to do it like exactly the way that I want to do it, not have to go by committee to, get something done. So that's
do you want to do this? No. Do you want to do this? No. You're like, you know what?
Exactly.
Fuck it. I'll do it my fucking self.
Exactly. That's basically my entire motto. Like my personal credo, I would say, is like, fuck it, I'll do it myself.
Every entrepreneur ever.
I enjoy the like solitude of the actual like creating of it. And then I enjoy talking to people, whenever I'm doing it. But I also enjoy just doing the like little solo rants where I'm just talking about, my childhood and exactly like, not unlike yourself. So that's, yeah.
I was enjoying was it last one about, was it Halloween? And then you were going there, like, it was like a dark room and they were playing death metal, or they were playing metal.
Oh, church. Yeah, that was
church.
Whenever I was a kid, I went to like a non-denominational church. But I don't know if is that a thing in Australia, non-denominational? I don't know. That might just be a U.S. thing because we do a lot of weird religion shit. But yeah, there was a church I went to, non-denominational, and they were trying to scare us away from trick-or-treating. Or celebrating Halloween in any way. So they brought us into like the Sunday school thing for kids and did this skit where they like shut out the lights and turned on these like creepy ass like strobe lights and red like lights to kind of simulate like fire. Started playing like what, at least to my 8-year-old, 9-year-old brain, was like Norwegian death metal, and had like a person dressed up as the devil run around and just scare the hell out of us, and then brought kids up on stage and, did this like trick-or-treating skit. There was like kind of like a PSA, like public service announcement, just saying like, if you celebrate Halloween or trick-or-treat, this is what you are really celebrating. And I was not interested. So I just kind of told my parents like, hey, I don't think I'm into all this God stuff. I kind of would rather go get free candy than go to heaven. So
yeah,
like that is my heaven. Why would I go to church on Sunday when I can just go trick-or-treating in October?
Yeah, which every 8-year-old kid would rather do that.
Yeah.
But that's insane. Like,
I forgot to mention, so like how they would bring us into that room is like every like last Sunday of every month, the Sunday school teachers dressed up like clowns and grabbed all the kids and brought them into this room. So there's the genesis of that, is that we were also being led into a room away from all of our parents by people dressed up like clowns. They called it Clown Sunday.
There is so much wrong with that. There is so much to unpack on that.
Yeah, it's almost like religion is, has some negative sides to it.
Look, I don't know, get all the kids together with clowns, and also scare kids not to have Halloween. Don't dress up as your favorite character or anything like that. Don't get candy because you'll go to hell, and like, great, thank you for terrorizing me. Like,
yeah, I mean, all it did was make me way more into Halloween. Like, because I've always been way more into whatever I was told not to be into.
Don't do this.
For a lot of the kids, like, I was looking around and they're like, they were highly traumatized and probably still are. But for me, it was just like, oh, now Halloween is my favorite day of the year. like you just made it like the greatest experience of my life.
You've made up my mind. I Halloween is my favorite now. I'm going to really enjoy that.
They basically did like a simulated Korn concert at our church. Like I was like, this is a dream come true. Like I've been listening to this bullshit Christian rock for, all the time, but now they're playing like real metal. I was pretty pumped. Like I was about to start moshing with these little kids. It's like, this is
God, Christian rock.
What an oxymoron.
Yeah, true. And the funny thing is, you never really know who's a Christian band. Like, you'll find a band, you're like, oh, that's pretty good. And you find that Christian rock, and you're like,
yeah.
Since when?
Yeah.
Like, Skillet. You ever listen to them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Skillet's like was huge whenever I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
Like all the little because I grew up in a city that is very Baptist, like Southern Baptist, which is a whole other breed of Christian. And that's what all these little douchebags listen to was Skillet. Not that people who listen to Skillet are douchebags, but these people just happen to be douchebags and listen to Skillet. But it was like the Iron Maiden for dweeby little Christian kids. They're like, this is metal. I'm like, well, I don't know. Have you ever heard of a Gorgoroth? Because like, I'm
look, we can go metal. Heavier, but like that's good for you. That's good for you. And then who's the other one that's a Christian band? And
there was Creed.
Creed, that's
Creed.
Right.
But Creed, I don't consider them a Christian band. I don't know where like the Christians get off by taking them as one of their own. I mean, it's not a Christian band. Just because you have like some God message lyrics does not make you a Christian band. Like,
no,
they're not.
Even though it's when he sings them, it's so like mumbled.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's like Eddie Vedder with cerebral palsy. Like it's not great.
No, like even when I like hear a couple of songs, I'm like, no one taught you how to sing. No one taught you how to properly sing.
No, but man, I love Creed so much, and I know you're not supposed to. Like, it's very shameful to be a Creed fan. But they were also selling. I hate Nickelback. That is one that like I understand why that they're hated so much. Their music is horrible.
Oh come on, man!
No, but Creed is amazing. Animals like no, dude. Nickelback is horrible. Creed is amazing though, and I will not like anytime somebody tells me, "Oh, Creed sucks." I'm like, well, you know, they had like 3 platinum selling albums in a row. So who bought these damn things? Because nobody will admit that they were a fan of Creed, but somebody was buying these CDs to get them to that platinum level. I know I did my part. Like I was a huge fan of Creed as a kid.
That's right. Someone's had to buy them. That's when people go, "Oh, I hate Nickelback." I'm like, yes, that's why they're one of the most, not saying it because you hate them, but I mean, like in general, I'm like, they're one of the most successful bands of all time. So again, someone's seeing their shows. No, someone's buying their albums.
No, that's a great point because that is the exact point I just tried to make with Creed, and I'm pretending like it doesn't apply to Nickelback. So yes, you did get me, and you know that how you remind me is here in the U.S. is the most played song in rock radio history.
You're kidding? Really?
No, not kidding. Is the most played song in rock radio history.
What? But like, there's like a plethora of songs before that should be.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that like when that song came out, one, rock music was kind of dying. So as far as new rock to put in rotation, not a whole lot of options. And it also got played on like a lot of pop stations and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's not just most played in rock station history, but like in radio history, it's the highest played rock song. That's what she said. But yeah.
No, if that's true, I could almost see that because like I still can't believe that it was on Guitar Hero.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great song. I do like that song. Actually, that album is not bad. Silver Side Up.
No.
It's a good album.
I think here, let's draw back. Having an iPod back in the day, little small iPods, and everything was Silverback. I had it on my iPad, and the album has Animal on it. Is
that Dark Horse or something like that?
No, Dark Horse was after.
Oh, that is after. Oh, yeah. You're right.
There's the one with the car on it.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah.
And then I had Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Because was it Burnt to the Ground? That went everywhere.
That's not a bad song either. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Nickelback's not bad.
Oh, you know what I'm doing after this?
Yeah. I wavered on that opinion real quick. they're not
I'm glad I can be both so persuasive.
I know Chad Kroger owes you like $10, I think.
Boom.
Got him another
he's also
fan.
Yeah. Well, they did release another song, Quentin or something. Quentin.
Yeah, I know.
Just recently.
And
everyone's like, "Oh, this is really great." I'm like, "It's just a cover."
Yeah.
Just, you haven't done anything new.
Well, but, rock music is dead anyway. So, I mean, it's just it's a pointless genre now. I mean, as soon as people stopped doing drugs, rock music just couldn't survive.
We're
I mean, now
missing something.
It's not cool.
What's missing from rock?
So I'm saying, like,
drugs.
It's not cool to do drugs. It's not cool to have just an insane amount of sex anymore. And people are way too afraid that they're going to get in some big trouble. And you can't have that and have rock music. Like, you have to have the danger of, like, it's really just social media. Social media ruined rock music.
Yeah, I could agree to that. You know,
it ruined the mystique. You know, like who's the last rock star?
Yeah,
like there is. I mean, exactly. Like, you can't even think of one.
Not off the top, mate. Not
in this millennia.
Yeah, not a true rock star. No, I can't think of one.
Like, it's just not a thing anymore.
No, and the thing is, anyone who does have a rock band, it's like half and half of something else. Like, it's not just, it incorporates something else.
Or it's such a ripoff of older rock music that it's just like, there's this band Greta Van Fleet. I don't know if you've heard them.
I like them, but at the same time, like, you play them,
a Zeppelin ripoff.
That's the thing. You play them, and you have a Led Zeppelin and Greta Van Fleet playlist. You tell me the difference of the songs. You tell me flat out which one's which.
I remember I was listening to the radio, and one of Greta Van Fleet songs came on. I didn't know who this band was, and I was like, okay, I've heard every Led Zeppelin song ever. Like, that is my favorite band of all time. Like, did they just? Hey, thank you. Did they just release like a song, like an old song that maybe was in like the vault that I don't know about? Because if so, awesome. And then they said, "Oh, wow, that's so and so by Greta Van Fleet." I know. I was like, God, this is Led Zeppelin. And then, sure enough, it was. I was like, oh, this band should be sued for everything they have. They should not be allowed to make music. Like, I mean, it's different if like your voice just sounds similar. But he like copies Robert Plant's like mannerisms, like his vocal, like kind of ad-libby sort of stuff. Like, he copies all of it. It's like, no. Like, you can't do that. Like, you can have a similar voice. Like, Eddie Vedder and the rest of the 90s grunge bands all kind of had a similar voice, but not the same.
Even grunge bands had all no one could say their vowels.
Yes. It was very like marble in your mouth music. You know, like, right. But they didn't sound the same. They sound similar. There was definitely similarities, just like 80s like hair metal, like glam metal bands. Like Motley Crue, Poison, Warrant. Like, all those bands sound similar, but they don't sound, but you can tell the difference. Like, if you could hear a Motley Crue song and hear a Rat song and know that those are two different bands. You can't do that with Greta Van Fleet and Led Zeppelin.
No. And I think that's a big thing. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've got a couple of songs on my Spotify, and I do like. Yeah, I think one's Highway something.
Highway Song, I think. Or no, not Highway Song. There's Highway Tune, isn't there?
Yeah, Highway Tune.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
That's the one I do like, but it's, I think, a big thing of their popularity is because they sound like Led Zeppelin. So you've instantly got a fan base of everyone who wants to hear more new Led Zeppelin songs or a Led Zeppelin fan.
Exactly.
You're just going to pull across.
Exactly. And, you know, I mean, Led Zeppelin also did rip off every one of their songs. So you can't really be too mad about it because Led Zeppelin were notorious thieves. But I don't care. Led Zeppelin is the greatest band of all time. Don't care. I don't care who they stole from. I don't care who they ripped off. Whatever. I give them a pass, and I don't give Greta Van Fleet a pass. I know it's hypocritical. I don't give a shit.
No. It's all right. No, it's all right. I completely understand. I get it.
Yeah.
But you're right at the end. Sorry. What we're going to do for this episode is we're going to look at some of the hot topics of the past week, and then towards the end, we're going to talk about a very controversial movie that has, it's been about a month since it's come out, but it's just, I haven't spoken to previously on this podcast, but Don't Worry, Darling has caused a lot of stir, not for the right reasons, not because of the movie, not because of the plot of the movie, but everything else, which we will dive into. So in the past week, Cody, is that are you a Stranger Things fan?
No, dude, I know it's sacrilege, but I love the first season, and I love the '80s aesthetic because I'm just a huge fan of like anything from the '80s. but I just
Same.
I have such a hard time keeping up with series, any series. It's not a Stranger Things slander by any means. It's just if I can't binge watch the entire series, I can't, like the only series I can do that with is that one about the cousins that have sex with each other, The Crown. Sorry.
Wow. I thought Game of Thrones first. I thought of Game of Thrones. I was like,
no,
okay. The good old Crown.
Yeah, I do love that show, but I can't do it with Stranger Things. I don't know.
No, that's fair. Man. I haven't watched Stranger Things. I only watched. It was the last season. I watched the scene with running up that hill because that blew
song.
up ridiculously.
Yeah,
and then I watched the scene with Master of Puppets.
Okay. Yeah. I just saw that was everywhere. And I was like, oh, that must have been a thing on Stranger Things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Still, if you do have you watched it?
No.
If you just watch that clip, it's done really well to the tune of Master of Puppets as well.
Okay.
So everything that's happening around it. And I was like, this is freaking awesome. And then I saw on Metallica were on a tour or something, and when they're playing Master of Puppets, they played the scene on the background at the same time.
That's cool. Oh man, that's awesome.
Robert Trujillo, I can never say his last name.
Rob Trujillo.
Yeah, his younger brother helped the Stranger Things guy play it.
Oh, really? Okay, like actually kind of gave him lessons for the show, like before they filmed it. Right.
Yeah, before they filmed it, so he could, when you saw it, he's actually nailing it. Well, the reason why I'm saying Stranger Things is because they've Netflix are dabbling into video games, and they've actually announced they're going to be making a Stranger Things VR headset where you get to play the bad guy, Vecna, in it later this year, which would be interesting. VR games are still a bit 50-50.
I think so too.
They're not. It's not mass thing, but at the same time, it's still a novelty. It's not that same stage as everything else. But yeah, that's what's going to be coming up very soon. Now, have you ever played Gran Turismo?
Oh yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, I played. So, okay, another warning. I haven't played video games since after the PlayStation 2. So, I got a PlayStation 2 and ran it into the ground, and then I never bought another console. I mean, really? I've done a little dabbling here and there, with my brother or some friends or whatever, but actually really playing it and owning a console, haven't done it since PS2. But I did play Gran Turismo a lot on PS2, so, yeah.
Well, Gran Turismo making a movie.
Okay. Well, that's going to go well. Like every other video game movie that's just a huge success.
Hey, Uncharted was bad.
Uncharted was not. Uncharted was a horrible movie. I mean, I went into it very blind because I've never played the game, don't know anything about the game. But I remember watching that movie and thinking, this is not good.
Hey, I found it. For me personally, I found it. It wasn't too bad. It was kind of refreshing to see an adventure movie again. I was telling this to a mate. I feel like it's been ages since we've seen just a flat out treasure adventure.
That's a good kind of point.
Style. Yeah. So that part of the movie I really loved. Trying to put the puzzles together. Bad guys trying to get the treasure. But there was elements in there that were true to the video games. Mm-hmm. But I feel because it was half a prequel sort of.
Okay.
Of when he fully becomes the main character. So I was like, well, I think the sequel, if they go ahead, will be more balls to the wall and will be better.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Now my mind is running, trying to think of the last adventure movie I've ever seen. I mean, I guess Jumanji, the Jumanji movies can kind of count, sort of.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
maybe. I mean, I'm not saying that's even really counts, but it's like the closest thing I can think of. And I love adventure movies. Like The Goonies is one of my favorite movies, but there's nothing Goonies-ish. Since like Super 8. Super 8's sort of in that realm, but
that's true.
It's still not right. Like hey, we're going to the middle of the jungle and we're looking for a treasure. National Treasure. That might be the last one.
Well, National Treasure. Oh no, there was another movie that I wouldn't count this. It had Sandra Bullock in it.
Oh, Lost City of. Well, it's called. They changed
Lost
it. It was Lost City of D, and then they changed it to Lost City. So
I wonder why.
Well, I know. I mean, it's bad. I watched it and I was like, this is rough.
Because it's Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, Brad Pitt,
and Harry Potter,
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah. He's the bad guy, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I couldn't think of another recent adventure movie like that. But the Gran Turismo movie that they're doing is it's going to be based off a guy, which is, I get it. It's actually based off a true story in which we had no plot details until this week. A true story of a bloke who got obsessed with the video game and then went on to become an actual real professional race car driver.
Really? What does he, do you know what he raced, like Formula One, or do you know?
I don't know.
Because Gran Turismo is like street racing, isn't it?
No.
Is it not? I don't know.
It's not.
I might be mixing games, really.
It's more like the high end racing, but they also incorporate other races as well. It has like Formula Ones, and it has I can't think of the name right now. It's going to bug me, but it's got it's got a lot of races in it. But that's what it's based off. And when I saw the plot details, I thought, okay, that's kind of made me a bit more excited to see how this will play out.
Yeah, I'm just by that actually kind of interested in it. Because I normally wouldn't care much about like any video game movie or really even racing movies. I find a lot of them are just not that great. But like that,
Cars is good.
Yeah, all right. No, I did like Ford versus Ferrari, which I don't know if you ever saw that, but that movie is incredible. And so is Rush with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, but both of them I've heard are such a good movie.
Incredible.
It's Ford versus Ferrari. It's Matt Damon and Christian Bale.
Yeah, Matt Damon plays Carroll Shelby, who's like from where I'm from. Carroll Shelby is like a legend around here, so I was like pretty excited to see that because he's like he's the most like one of the most like badass people of all time. Like he is a movie character, Carroll Shelby. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome, and it is. It's an incredible movie. But I just find a lot of racing movies are too much like Fast and the Furious, and I'm not a fan of those.
No, neither am I.
Yeah,
neither am I. The fact that there's going to be
the 10th one is coming out soon.
10th one, yes, Fast 10, which just the logo just looks like an X-Men logo.
Yeah,
but it's funny you actually say that because I saw a report yesterday or the day before that apparently the budget has blown out completely for it.
Really?
Like, well, why are you surprised? Like you've got Vin Diesel, who's the producer, that wants to keep pumping these out, and it's Universal's baby because they've got no other major franchise.
Yeah, they tried doing that Universal Monsters franchise, and it was a disaster. Which sucks. I was actually really looking forward to that. Those are some of my favorite movies, are like those old Universal horror movies. And
Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, The Mummy.
They're so bad. Like the ones that they tried. I mean, that Mummy movie is, oh my God. Like,
that's what happens when you give Tom Cruise too much control. And funny enough, I still love it when that came out. The fact that was so bad that the streaming of The Mummy with Brendan Fraser went up.
Oh, yeah, because it's an amazing movie also.
Yeah.
But people are like, I'm just going to watch this thing.
Yeah, no one's gonna watch. Yeah, no one watched. And they did what they did? They announced this universe. They did the photo op with everybody, and they had a very stellar lineup of actors for it.
Yeah, Russell Crowe was going to be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, Johnny Depp was going to be the Invisible Man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then...
I mean, it's... Yeah. But no, Universal has nothing now. Now that Harry Potter's, long gone. I mean, that was Universal, right? Harry Potter?
Yeah, that's WB.
Yeah. Oh, it is, isn't it?
That's WB.
Never mind. Yeah.
Universal would have like Jurassic Park, which is now
That's right.
done.
Right. Yeah, thank God. Even though Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time. But those...
See, I knew there was a reason why I liked you.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, without a doubt, like, I've seen it over 400 times. And, I mean, I'm going to try to get to 1,000 before I die. So,
yeah.
I mean, no joke. Like, it's like just a weird, like, childhood nostalgia,
Oh, dude.
So, yeah.
100%. My partner and I, a couple of weeks ago, we went and saw, there was a John Williams tribute show.
Really?
And in live and orchestra, and they played Star Wars, they played Indiana Jones. But it was when they played the Jurassic Park theme that I felt like I was taken back as a kid watching that for the very first time. Just that... And I was like...
Dude, I'll tear up.
Shit.
Like, if I hear it, like if I listen to it, like, with headphones on, no distractions, like, I'll start, like, tearing up. Like, I'm serious. Like, I don't know what it is, man, about that movie. But, I mean, every kid is obsessed with dinosaurs. It's like a proven statistical, just weird anomaly is that children love dinosaurs for whatever reason. And, so you make a 5-year-old watch Jurassic Park, and his world is different.
So, even though it's quite funny you say a 5-year-old, you watch it, but you look back and go, this was like partially a horror film.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is actually,
it's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's not really meant for kids.
No.
Yet you watched it because you saw people get murdered. You saw a decapitated arm. You saw a guy get spit on by a dinosaur and then eaten alive in a car.
Yeah, Newman. Jerry. I mean, you see Samuel Jackson's arm. Yeah. You didn't say the magic word. Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, it is. No, it is not. I mean, you see Samuel Jackson smoking cigarettes right down to the filter the whole movie, and you're like, oh, it turned me into a smoker, I'm sure. Like, it is. No, it's a horror movie. I mean, I will argue that up and down. Like, if you consider Jaws a horror movie, this is just Jaws with dinosaurs. I mean, how is that any different?
Well, look at Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, when they go on the boat and there's just body parts everywhere. Yeah. I still remember when he takes off, when he's trying to open the door and he has to remove the hand from the control. I'm like,
no, it's a horror movie for sure. Like, it's a monster movie. No different than
it's a monster movie. That's the
Frankenstein
best way
or
to put it.
Dracula. I mean, it's just lab created monsters.
That's right. And that's all. They've all finished all 6 movies now. I don't know really where they could take it, but I know they'll try and find something else to milk the damn money for it.
God, I hope they don't. That last one was so bad. Oh my God.
I didn't. The last one was bad. I like Jurassic World. Like, the premise for that.
Yes.
I was like, well, what if the park was open?
Right. Like, what would it be like if this actually worked?
Yeah. When I was running, I was like, all right, that's a good plot point.
Very.
And that's something I was like, all right, I do want to see this. All right, I'm happy they're making number 4. But number 5 was shit.
Ooh, number 5 is, to this day, in the top 3 worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some bad movies.
Have you ever watched The Room?
Oh, yeah. I would rather watch The Room than watch Jurassic Park or Fallen Kingdom. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I'd much rather watch The Room.
Yeah, I could see that. I had a guest on episode last week. Her name's Katie, and we'll talk about movies, obviously. And I was like, "Oh, have you ever seen The Room?" And she's like, "No." And I was like, "You need to watch The Room. You really do." And I was like, "I'd love you to do a review on this." And she's like, "Why?" I was like, "Look, it's between the billboard that was up for 10 years after the movie's release, or the main guy, you can't determine his accent, or the 3 sex scenes with 3 different people, yet it's only one person."
Yeah. Tommy Wiseau is a interesting man for sure. Like, it's very much the backstory is more interesting than the movie, so that's why you watch the movie kind of thing. Yeah. Actually, not unlike the movie we're going to, talk about, Don't Worry, Darling. Like, there's certain movies that just the backstory is way more interesting than the movie, so that's why you're watching it. Like, you want to see what comes out of this train wreck,
Yeah, what's coming from this? Like the I can't remember the biopic movie with Seth Rogen in it and James Franco.
Oh, Disaster Artist.
That's it. Yeah,
incredible. I love that movie.
That was so good. Like, what accent? I'm like, I'm not Frankenstein. I'm
from New Orleans. I'm from the Big Easy, Mark. From the Big Easy. Like, that is a Eastern European accent for sure. I mean, Tommy Wiseau is a
hi, Mark.
Yeah, he's a dude that was involved in like arms trading. I mean, he pretends to not be, but he was definitely into some shady stuff in Eastern Europe. Pretended to be from France. Pretended to be from New Orleans. Yeah, it's really not that crazy, but I mean, how do you have that much money?
Yeah, where did you get all that from? Like, show us your birth certificate.
Yeah. Show us your tax records, because there's no way you were getting this money legally. Like, because that billboard. I mean, God, I can't remember. I read a thing where they were saying how much it cost for him to have that billboard up on like Sunset Boulevard, and it was like millions. Like, by the time it was all said and done, he kept it there for like 10 or 12 years.
It was still up for a movie that had made its run. It was done.
Yeah, a movie came out in 2003, and it was up in like 2012, 2013.
Yeah. Until they were like, "Hey, we like your money, but we got to promote something else, mate." And interestingly enough, go back to Venture Films. We got a first look at Indiana Jones 5 for next year, which the Empire magazine, the front cover is Indiana Jones standing in, which looks like 1960s New York.
Yeah. I'm excited for this. Very excited. Yeah.
I'm pumped. And you got John Williams, the last one. He's scoring. You've got obviously Harrison Ford back, which is always plus. Yeah. And you got the director James Mangold,
who directed incredible.
Logan.
Yeah, and Walk the Line, which is one of my favorite movies. And I believe he directed this movie called I'm Not There. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's about Bob Dylan, but he has like 12 different actors playing Bob Dylan, like Heath Ledger, Christian Bale, Cate Blanchett, Richard Gere. They all play Bob Dylan at different points in his life. It's an amazing movie. James Mangold is the guy to make this. It with Spielberg not included.
And the bad guy being Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, that's always a good call.
Always a plus.
Yeah,
especially after his last outing, which was Harry Potter.
Yeah, that was I didn't even watch it.
No, you didn't miss much. And not saying that, we did see a report that apparently both any new Fantastic Beasts sequels have been cancelled.
Good. Good. I'm glad. I mean, if you're not going to put Johnny Depp in it, I don't want to see it. Like, put Johnny back in those movies.
Well, yeah, that's right. Well, I was saying to someone the other day, it's like, you've got the bad guy. You look at this, like these 3 movies, and you've got the bad guy who's been played by 3 different actors.
Yeah. You
got Colin. I forget his name. Colin.
Oh,
not Colin Firth.
Oh, it could be Colin Firth. No, it's not Colin Firth. Is it?
No, he's older. No, it's Colin somebody.
Oh my God.
He's in He's the Penguin in the Batman, and he's
Colin
been
Farrell.
So,
Colin Farrell.
That's it.
Yeah.
Who plays the character?
Mhm.
And you got Johnny Depp who plays in the second one, and then you got Mads Mikkelsen plays
Yeah.
him in the third. You're like, the whole franchise is just a shit. But
No, it's bad.
yeah, Indiana Jones, I'm quite excited for.
Oh man,
especially seeing this Empire magazine cover. I'm like, okay, yes.
Did you like?
Hopefully,
did you like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? I mean, I think take away like 2 or 3 scenes, and it's a great movie. You know,
it's not that bad, but to me, I found it when you compare it to the other 3, it doesn't stack up.
Oh no.
Another good point that I had someone say to me once was, all other 3 movies was everything like history based that he tried to find. This is the first thing alien based.
Yeah, that ruined it for me. Is the alien story?
Yeah. That's
the problem.
Yeah, that's what a lot of, and then you saw the alien ship take off, and you're like, this is probably a little bit too absurd, even for indie.
Yes, I couldn't. Yeah,
could
not agree more. Like, I think that it could have been just an amazing movie. It could have been right up there with the others, because it has like aspects of it that are very in line with the other 3, and then it just veers off into this like just dog shit. Yeah. I hope that this one is getting more towards the first 3, you know. I
think it will.
Yeah.
I think it's been very put forward, the fact that, you know, how much everyone hated episode. Sorry, 4th Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But I think with James Mangold doing it, I think he'll very much understand. Like, he won't. I feel like if you can give us all those movies, and then Logan, which is arguably one of the greatest comic book movies ever made to date.
Yes, the best. To me is the best. If you exclude like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, yeah.
Then yes,
I think it's the greatest.
I agree with you.
Greatest Marvel movie, or of a Marvel character. I mean, it wasn't.
100%. And Logan is just a gut-wrenching story, and my review was that I wouldn't even call it a comic book movie.
No.
It's not. It's so far removed.
No, it's closer to like Death Wish or Cool Hand Luke, or, you know, like one of these like 70s. It's very much closer to like a 70s cinema type, like Bullet, like grizzled older guy who's on his last run sort of thing.
The last ride kind of.
Yeah. Like it is.
Instead of using guns,
he just have fucking steak knives in his. He's got shiatsu knives in his hands. But yeah, it's goddamn. Logan's a great movie. So I give James Mangold a pass to do anything.
Yeah, I 100%. I can't wait. Can't wait for it. So that's next year.
Are you more excited? Okay, so you remember how there was the rumor that Chris Pratt was going to be like a young Indiana Jones, like they were going to make a prequel.
Yeah.
Are you more excited for this, or like would you have been more excited to see this 5th one be a prequel with Chris Pratt?
Not with Chris Pratt.
No,
I like Chris Pratt. He's a really good actor.
Yeah,
I don't see him playing an Indiana Jones character.
Okay,
you know, and right now he's better play Super Mario. So I don't think that we've gone off well, that your Indiana Jones is Super Mario.
Very true.
But I am excited for the video game. They are making an Indiana Jones video game for next gen console, which I'm excited to see how that plays out.
That's cool. That's all. Has there ever been an Indiana Jones game?
Yeah, there's
like maybe like a long
Lego
time
game.
Ago. Oh, that's right. Okay.
There's been a Lego game, and there's been there was one based on the Crystal Skull, but none of them have been noteworthy.
No,
because I think they've all been movie tie-ins, and usually movie tie-in games are horrific.
Yes. Yeah, completely.
So I don't think this new one is a tie-in, so I think it might get a good traction for it.
That's good.
But then I did see the other day that apparently a Indiana Jones Disney Plus show is currently in the works. Don't know how that will play out.
That.
Don't know how
Not
that
for
will
it.
work.
I don't like the Disney Plus shows. I hate them. I think that it's just they don't need to be shows. I've never seen one of them that I was like, oh, thank God this wasn't a movie. Like, they all could have just been a movie. And it's just whenever you drag something out like that, it isn't going to be better. It just isn't. Like, it's, I mean, maybe if you make it in one as like a 2-part film, that's different. But like making something like a 10-episode series, just, I don't like it.
My point of view is the shows aren't like they've got places to work. They need work. Something drags out, but I do like that they flesh out these characters. Like from a Marvel side, like I do like, you know, we got Moon Knight. You know, I like the fact that it's not like more early Marvel movies and like superhero movies where it just seemed to be like they got the powers and then boom,
right? You
are perfect at it. Where opposed to these Disney Plus shows, because they're fleshing out the characters, when you see them in the movie, they're not. Yeah. Oh, you're perfect at your powers. You're perfect at what you do.
I get that for sure. I don't like them doing it over characters that are less important than the characters that were just sprung up in the movies. Like, how do you not have like a real Thor show or a Captain America show? And I mean, I'm not talking about like, oh, there's like Loki, but like, you know, you're doing it over, you know, Wanda, like the Scarlet Witch. Who cares about her? Like, doing over, you know, I mean, not to sound crazy here, but like, it's the worst Marvel character there is, and she is the worst actress on the planet. Well,
not that bad.
She's been doing this role for how long? But probably 6 years at a minimum.
2014, Captain America 2.
So 8 years, and still can't do a Russian accent throughout the movie. It still switches back and forth every single scene. It's like, I don't know, pick someone else.
Have you watched WandaVision?
Oh, most of it.
Did you watch?
Yeah, I couldn't finish it. I was like, no, I can't do this.
There's one of them where it's like, why did your accent change?
Yeah, I know.
Like they mentioned in the show.
It's bad.
I do. I do like Elizabeth Olsen. I think personally think she does a great job in that role. Yes, her accent does change, which when you look back and you're like, oh, which, you know, you either keep the accent or you don't because you've lived in America for so long. But you know, to this day, out of all the Disney Plus shows, she has one of the most sad stories, gut-wrenching stories. And you know, I was still completely blown away that she's the third Olsen.
Yeah, well, third most talented as well.
What's the other two done?
Full House. Their acting is better in Full House as 4-year-olds than hers is in these damn Marvel movies. I mean, both those Olsen twins look like they're 90 now. They both look like Mickey Rourke, and I'd still rather see them in a movie than Elizabeth Olsen. I mean,
yeah, they are. Yeah, they didn't age very particularly well.
No, they look like they should be in Aerosmith. I mean, so I'll take, you know, I mean, you could swap them out in WandaVision Part 2 for all I care.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, it's funny actually. When I didn't even, it took me ages to realize that she was the third Olsen.
Yeah,
because when I think that obviously they are so much older than her, and then I saw a photo of all three of them standing, and I'm like, yeah, she's done a lot better than the twins. Like,
yeah, those twins.
I feel like when she's your age, she's still going to be on like Women's Magazine and, you know, and all this. No.
I mean, they're not that old. The Olsen twins.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. They're not that old.
They're probably in what, late 30s.
something like
probably something like that.
Full House came out.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
exactly. Baby's Vin says
they didn't
5. So yeah, they're probably like 37-ish.
Yeah, they didn't come back for Full House, did they?
No, they're billionaires. They don't need to go slum it up with a Dave Coulier. I mean, Dave Coulier is working in a fucking car wash in Ottawa right now. Like, I mean, he kind of had to go back. But,
like, oh, sure, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll come back to it.
yeah. In the meantime, I have some overdue library fines. If y'all could take care of these for me, like, I mean, God.
No, I know what you mean. Like, did you ever play a game called? It was on. I was pretty sure it was on Bioshock.
Yes, I mean, I did not own Bioshock, but I have played Bioshock at like friends' houses. So yes, I mean, I'm somewhat familiar with it.
Because the Netflix are making a movie.
I did see that. Yeah, I did see they're making a Bioshock movie.
I'm very curious to see how that's going to be portrayed. And apparently, the director, France, can't remember his last name. He said recently in an interview the fact that apparently Netflix have given him free reign, so they'll be able to go to the R rating, and he can also work with the original creators.
Really? Well, see, that's how you make a movie, like a video game adaptation work. Like, you have to have the full creative control and like the ability to like work with the people who actually made the damn thing, you know?
That's right. And the thing is, I know a Bioshock movie has basically been the same thing as a Halo. Right. It's been in development hell ever since the first game came out, and it's been swapped around, been between different directors. I think, it's either Peter Jackson or Guillermo
del Toro.
I gotcha. Has been attached to make it.
This one or Halo? Because I think Peter Jackson was going to make the Halo movie, wasn't he?
Peter Jackson, Halo, Del Toro for Bioshock.
Okay.
But I think Del Toro left the project because he couldn't get the R rating, and then obviously development hell, moving to different projects.
Yeah.
But this movie, there's no way you can make a solid adaptation of this video game with an PG rating. There is no way.
Is that what they were aiming for? Was to do PG or just not R?
Just not R.
Okay, well,
or not
I
MA.
guess they could do PG because we have PG-13 here, which I don't think that's a thing in Australia. Is it PG-13?
Yeah, we have PG. Yeah,
we have PG-13.
We've got G, PG, M15 plus.
Okay.
MA, and then R.
Okay, so we have G, PG, then PG-13, which is like the same as MA-15. But
would be
different
MA-15.
age. Yeah. Okay. That's why I was just curious, like if you had the same ratings. But either way, if you're not doing it R, don't do it.
Yeah. What's the point? I'm like, there's literally a woman. There's literally in the opening scene of the damn game, the guy gets drilled. I mean, the game, he gets drilled. Just realize how that sounded.
Oh yeah, it sounded the way you meant it to sound.
It's not, but yeah, the director said that apparently that's what they said. So I really hope it stays on course. Especially between the Gran Turismo movie. I think I'm hoping the change is the fact that video game movies aren't treated in a way where we'll just slap an adaptation to this. They're actually being crafted.
Right. Well, that's wishful thinking, I think. Because
what do you mean? The Sonic movie was good.
Sure. yeah. After they had to go, blow $30 million to redo it. I mean, I think
that first drawing was awful.
I mean, I didn't have like high hopes for a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Call me crazy, but whenever I saw that first drawing, I was like, this is wild. Like, I mean, how did nobody raise their hand and say, I don't think this is right.
This does not look like Sonic. This looks like
the problem with movie sets in all movies is that nobody wants to step out of their department. And if something gets passed through a department, it's like any other job. It is out of everybody else's hands, and nobody wants to be the person who said something because they want it to go on to that person. They want it to be like, oh, this is the crew that gets fired. And so they just let it go and see what happens. Like, a lot of people are just, with movies like that especially, they're just, like, I do my department's thing and I go home. And, you know, it is what it is. But that's why a lot of movies have these so questionable things, is that it's all this hierarchy, and, you know, and
kiss asses.
It's a weird unionized job that,
Well, funny enough, look at Chip and Dale. The Chip and Dale movie. They ripped that off so good.
Yeah.
Like Your Ugly Sonic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was terrific.
Oh, I know. That is, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think that if it's successful, this Bioshock movie, it's not going to be a positive ultimately. I know that sounds backwards, but what it will do, the same way that it does with like most things, is that it makes people immediately want to make more of them faster and cheaper.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You know, Marvel has that problem.
Yes, I will admit that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bioshock is going to need a shit ton of CGI. It will,
right? But other ones won't.
No.
And that's the problem, is that, I mean, they will need it, but there will be the blueprint already done, and it'll be like, oh my God, this movie made so much money. Time to make 15 of them, and they can't be good. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I get really skeptical when a movie like that just does really well. It's like, oh man, because it's great the movie did well, but wait till the other 30 come out.
Yeah, well, that's right. And like, I've seen, I know, I completely agree with the criticisms about the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
My totally thing is, would they look so bad if COVID didn't happen?
Yes, they would still look bad.
Like,
I think so. I think they would still look bad. It would look bad because you're rushing to get something done, and you don't have the same level of budget. I think it's all budgetary and time. Because with what are you talking
about? It's Disney money. It's mouse money.
Yeah, you would think that would mean something, but Disney also has this tendency to cut corners in every way imaginable. Just go to Disney World now. It used to not be like that, but you go to Disney World now, and you're like, oh, this isn't nice anymore.
This isn't how I remember.
No, and the people who work there are assholes. Like, it's not the same. It's not the happiest place on earth anymore. Because they don't believe in paying people the wage they should be making to walk around in a 50-pound costume in 120-degree Florida weather. Like, $10 is enough an hour.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, look what happened to Galaxy's Edge, the hotel.
Yeah.
It's completely bombed because it's too flipping expensive.
Yeah. No, Disney is Disney is an evil empire that just happens to have been a massive part of my childhood. So I give it a lot of leeway when I shouldn't. Because I'm like, God, they're monsters who work there. They're all evil people. But damn, Lion King really made an impact on my life.
Yeah. It's all right. Just don't look at anything else.
No, it was different when when Michael Eisner was running Disney. I will say, that's the peak of Disney. Now it's turned into Apple. Instead of a real a creative company that wants to bring joy and entertainment, but of course make money. Now it is we are going to sell you something way overpriced, and it's not going to be good. And if you complain, fuck it, we still made $1 billion. You're
still going to buy it anyway.
Right, that's Disney's thing. Disney is Apple now.
Yeah. Now that is a lot to unpack in that, but I could see what you mean. I could see it. Like you're right. Like you're gonna pay anyway.
Right, you're gonna pay. So why make it good?
Yeah, dollar value is already there. But it's funny how you look at it, and Marvel, obviously, being owned by Disney, is pumping out all this pure content, and then you look at the actual Disney films.
Yes,
and like they're barely to none pop here and there
because the money is not there for them anymore, and they do still make a lot of them, but they don't get They do not put any kind of emphasis. So Disney Plus, as cool as Disney Plus was for the first week, because I got to go back and watch these movies I hadn't seen, Disney Plus is ruining Disney's creativity 1,000% because they don't really have to worry about a movie being successful anymore because it's just going to go on their streaming service. There's no theater run. I mean, there is, but who gives a shit? So they can, and Pixar has gone completely to shit now. Like it's just a thing that again, it's the Apple mentality of we don't have to be good at this anymore because people are just going to buy it. And with Disney Plus, they don't exactly. And with Disney Plus, nobody even gets the information to find out whether something was successful. At least if it's just a solid movie theater run, you get to see, oh, that movie bombed. But you don't really get to see that
because on streaming.
Exactly. And when you look at Disney's lineup for 2023, I mean, I went through them last night, actually. Not one of those sound interesting. I mean, all the Disney / Pixar films that are coming out next year, all of them sound horrible, except for Haunted Mansion that was going to be done by Guillermo del Toro, but now he's not doing it because they've been putting it through production hell. Same with Bioshock. But he's doing Haunted Mansion and it's supposed to be terrifying. That I'm excited
for, and the new Pixar film doesn't look too bad.
Which Elemental
yeah, I don't think it looked too bad, but nothing like when they released a trailer for Wall-E, and you're like, whoa.
Yes, they don't care about taking any kind of risk of making something that they don't want to make something that's going to last, if that makes sense. Wall-E is a movie that you could watch, and even Ratatouille, which was by Pixar Disney standards a bomb. Ratatouille is an incredible movie, and you can watch it now.
Everybody loves Ratatouille.
Ratatouille is amazing, and you can watch it now, and it's just as good. You can take some of these more recent Pixar movies, and they're not even good 6 months later. Encanto and Luca, a lot of these movies, you're these are not good.
Soul wasn't bad.
No, Soul is an exception. Soul and Coco are both exceptions to that. Both. Yeah,
I haven't seen Coco.
Coco is great. Coco is great, but Soul is where Pixar should be, but it's also too goddamn sad. Make it a little bit more fun. You can make a movie fun.
Look at The Good Dinosaur.
Oh God, yeah.
The Good Dinosaur is sad as all hell. Yeah. I remember watching that, going, "How is this a kids' movie?" Yes.
Well, even Monsters Inc. has moments where it's kind of sad, but the tone needs to be happy. It's Disney. The tone has to be happy. Now, whether or not you, of course you have conflict, so you have some sadness. Monsters Inc. Perfect example. There's some pretty heartbreaking moments. Finding Nemo also, but but they're overall, it's a joy. You get joy out of these movies. I did not feel any joy watching Soul. I felt like I was watching Requiem for a Dream, but the animated version. You know what I mean? It's just super goddamn sad.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's not a great movie. It is. It's just not. It's too sad.
Yeah. No, I 100%. I agree with you. I'm trying to think. What else from Disney is coming out next year?
They have Hunchback of Notre Dame, a live action version. With I saw the cast. I think Chris Hemsworth is in it. I think Josh Gad is playing Quasimodo, which not that excited for. But probably will be okay. The live action ones have been a bit of a disappointment overall. Some have been good. Jungle Book I actually really liked. And I really like Beauty and the Beast, the one with Emma Watson.
They all got rave reviews. Those
Lion King was a fucking disaster. I hated it.
Mm.
Oh God!
Why? Why'd you hate it?
Because you cannot make animals that realistic and give them emotions because animals don't really show emotion. So you don't really know whether a real lion is scared or not, unless David Attenborough says, "This lion is very scared." Like, unless that happens.
The natural element of the animal.
Yeah. This lion has no choice but to flee. Like, unless that happens, you don't know that a lion is scared or happy or, whatever. So you have to have him be a cartoon. You have to have him a cartoon so you can see that he's sad, see that he's scared. So it just felt like you're watching somebody. It felt like watching Planet Earth. Like it which, is cool and all, but it's not. It just ruins it. It ruins Lion King. And the voiceovers were horrible. Donald Glover is a horrible person to have as a voiceover actor because he doesn't have emotion in his voice. He talks with a very monotone voice, which works for his movies because he's a facial actor, if that makes sense. Yeah,
it's not the same thing.
Right. Matthew Broderick, that's the guy that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you're very excited for the Lion King prequel movie that we're getting called Mufasa.
I am. I've never protested something in my life, but I might boycott this goddamn movie and start a protest. So I might start a sit-in at my local movie theater. It is. Oh my God.
But that's what I mean is like the Disney movies, like in just general conversation, even I find it's like no one really says, "Oh, I'm really looking forward to this Disney movie or this Pixar film anymore." It's more. Obviously, we're in the age of superheroes,
right?
But even like legacy sequels, people are more excited for those. People were talking about before it came out, Jurassic Park. People were talking about Top Gun.
Yeah.
People were talking about I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Hocus Pocus sequel.
Yeah. Exactly.
No one says a pure Disney movie or Pixar film anymore.
No, it is very much about, is this a superhero movie or is this going to tickle my, nostalgia? If it isn't one of those two things, we're not interested.
I like that.
Well, that's the problem. And, and that's just what it's why I don't really watch a lot of new movies. It's because there aren't any new movies. There's just movies that are taking characters you loved when you were a kid and saying, "Hey, I wonder what it would look like if they were 40 years older." And it doesn't ever really work out. Top Gun is actually one of the few examples where I was like, this movie might be better than the first one. Like, I actually really, really love that movie. Maverick, I mean.
Yeah, no, I so did me and my partner. Like, my partner was the one who was really like, "Let's go see Top Gun. Let's go see Top Gun." And I was like, "All right, let's go see Tom Cruise and a bunch of jets."
Yeah,
and even I found myself right then. I'm like, that was pretty freaking good.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's a very good movie. Like, I loved it.
Same, and sorry, I didn't mean. You barely need to, if you want more context, but it does such a good job of reflecting on the first one that you really don't need to watch the first one. Like, you understand everything.
It's a standalone movie, which they should be. They should be good enough to be on their own. Creed. So the Creed movies, I actually am a real big fan of.
You ready for Creed 3?
Not as excited, but I am still excited. I'm not excited because of how John G. Avildsen and his just monster family have screwed over Sylvester Stallone. I don't know if you've been following this stuff, but my God. No, so they basically stripped all of Sylvester Stallone's input from the Rocky character and are just saying, we don't need you anymore. We're going to do stuff on our own. And, Sylvester Stallone's like baby. Like, that was what made him famous. So he has no creative control over the Rocky character, franchise, anything anymore.
Oh, because I heard that he made. I could be wrong. I heard that Creed 2. He was happy that was his last cameo.
Yes,
but he knew they were going to make a Creed 3.
Well, he was going to help make a Creed 3, like have creative say and creative input. But John G. Avildsen's kids, and John G. Avildsen, who's like 98, so really is not doing much. He's basically like, it's Weekend at Bernie's over at the Avildsen family. So they've been basically just saying, nah, we're going to make stuff on our own. Like, because they were going to make a Drago movie. And Sylvester Stallone was
kind of a Drago movie because the whole point of being Drago was the fact he's the antithesis of Rocky.
Yes.
And for Creed 2, it was the fact that, holy shit, it's the guy's son that killed your dad.
Yeah. But I loved Creed 2 because of that. Like, I thought Dolph Lundgren was incredible in that movie. And it did a great job of showing what really would have happened to Ivan Drago. Because in Soviet Russia, he would have been outcast, and that's what happens to him. But like, they were going to make a Drago movie, and Sylvester Stallone had no clue that this was going to happen. He had no say so. And so he basically said, like, Dolph Lundgren is dead to me. The Avildsen family is dead to me. Like, this is my creation. They're stealing it from me. And then they did, I think, recant and say, all right, fine, we won't make the Drago movie. But they haven't done anything else. So I'm not eager for this one, but I'll still watch it.
I watched the trailer, and I'm very, like, I think Michael B. Jordan's a fantastic actor.
For sure.
And the funny thing is, so Jonathan Majors is going to be playing Kang.
Yeah.
And I still love this meme, and someone showed a photo of him from the Creed 3 set, absolutely jacked. And then Kang is going to be the bad guy for Ant-Man 3. And it's like, yeah, Ant-Man's screwed. He's dead.
Yeah. Like, dude, he is huge.
Yeah. Absolutely jacked. Like, I could see this as the guy that, well,
apparently
tears down the Marvel universe.
Apparently Clubber Lang has a cameo in Creed 3. Like Mr. T,
really?
has a cameo in it, but they haven't said anything like to how it's related. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, Rocky 3, Creed 3, yeah. Which I'm excited for.
Boom, boom.
I love Mr. T, so yeah. And Clubber Lang's one of the coolest. That's like probably my favorite Rocky villain. I mean, Ivan Drago too, but like, I mean, Clubber Lang is fucking awesome. So.
Wasn't Hulk Hogan?
Thunderlips.
Was it Thunderclaps?
Thunderlips. Yeah, Hulk Hogan was Thunderlips. Or Tommy Gunn, Tommy Morrison from the fifth one. Yeah.
Oh, there's so many Rocky films.
Mason Dixon, that was the one in Rocky Balboa. They have the dumbest names ever. But
I know. I still look at a paper. I'm like, how the frick do they make 7 of these films? Like, this boxer should be in the ground.
Yeah, the CTE. I mean, he would have taken out an entire shopping center. I mean, it would.
Yeah, like, there's no way this guy would still be alive after, if it was real, all these matches. And then, was it number 7? He comes out of retirement and fights someone again. No,
that's Rocky Balboa. That's Rocky 6, where he fights Mason Dixon, the young dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, man, you should be in a home drooling or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no way he hasn't, ended it. Like, the CTE is gonna. I mean, his brain would look like Swiss cheese.
Oh, yeah. Like any UFC fighter. Actually, that's the thing. Someone should just make a UFC version of Rocky.
Well, they kind of did. I mean, they made Warrior. I don't know if you ever watched that, but it was a pretty good movie. It's not
no, but
it's actually pretty good. Tom Hardy's an incredible actor, and he's in that.
Is it Tom Hardy and
Joel Edgerton and Nick Nolte? Nick Nolte plays their dad. Yeah,
I heard really good things about that. And there's another one. It's Southpaw with Jake
that was a boxing movie. I don't think it was MMA.
Like that.
But yeah.
No, sorry, no.
Yeah, no, Southpaw was really good.
He was fucking jacked for that.
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal's an underrated human being in general. I don't know if you ever saw Prisoners, but it is an incredible movie as well with Hugh Jackman.
No, I've been meaning to watch that because apparently Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman all do a terrific in performance in that movie.
Oh my god! It's one of those movies that's like, it doesn't really make you feel that happy after you watch it.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, well, like, that movie happens to you, Yeah, like, you're just like, oh god, I don't feel good.
Yeah, I don't. I don't want to watch this again because it's got the isn't the bad guy
Paul Dano,
the same dude who plays the Riddler?
Yeah, Paul Dano. He is great in Prisoner. I did not like him as much in Batman, but I liked him until you saw him. I think the prison scenes ruined the mystique of like Riddler because the whole like masking his voice, like that kind of thing was so terrifying. And as soon as you saw him in the prison, you're like, no, not that scary anymore.
Well, the Riddler's really not about scariness.
Yeah.
Well, not in the Batman setting, but like in the comics.
Right.
Previously, he's not meant to be threatening physically or scary. He's just meant to be methodical.
True. Yeah, I get that. Like more of a cerebral villain. Like a Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, cerebral assassin.
Yeah, cerebral assassin. Yeah, exactly. So I do get that. It was just kind of a letdown because I liked the dark aspect of like how they did the Riddler character up until that point where I was like, oh, this is pretty crazy. Like, I don't know.
So my reviewer was like so much Saw vibes. So
yeah, 7 is the one that I was like, this is the exact. I don't know if you've ever seen 7, but I was like, this is exactly how 7 feels. But Saw too, Saw for sure. Yeah, I didn't even really connect those, but yeah, it is. Saw.
It's like when he started clipping everything with the locks and everything. That's what gave me that big Saw vibe.
Yes, when he had the mouse thing, or it wasn't a mouse trap or mouse tubes. Yeah. That is very.
That too, I was like,
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. True.
But that's it's good, and I need to watch Prisoners. Wow, we've gone on such a tangent.
Yeah.
From the Bioshock movie. All right, let's move on to the movie. Okay. So let's talk about Don't Worry, Darling. Mm-hmm. So this movie had a budget of $35 million. It's currently right now it's in the box office of 86. And it's got a completely stellar cast.
Amazing.
Like it has got Harry Styles. I wouldn't say it's very stunning, but anyway.
If you want
Florence Pugh,
yeah,
Chris Pine, Gemma Chan. It's got
Olivia Wilde.
It's got some big names.
Yeah, Olivia Wilde's in it and directs it. What's his name? Nick Kroll. Nick Kroll is in it. He's really good. I mean, not that much, but
Nick Kroll. I love Nick Kroll, especially Big Mouth.
Yes, yeah. Nick Kroll is great. The cast is excellent.
Yeah, that's the thing. On paper, it's excellent. But what happened to this movie? What the?
So it's usually not a good idea to like have sex with your coworkers because this is kind of what happens. Like this, I mean, that's where it all comes from, is that Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde couldn't keep it in their pants. I mean, that turned into this catalyst of like a spider web of just shittery. I mean, it is like, I mean, are you familiar with all the like ins and outs of what happened?
Not all of it. Only like with the whole Harry Styles spitting on Chris Pine at the premiere.
Right.
Chris Pine also looking like a very aged tennis player at a press conference.
Does look like Andre Agassi a little bit. Or not Agassi, Bjorn Borg.
You're right. Yeah, Bjorn Borg sitting there. And I think, what's the other one? Harry Styles trying to describe the movie. Oh, this movie is integral of a movie.
It is.
Like,
he is not wrong.
Yes. Yes, that's what a movie is, dumbass.
Yes, this movie is multiple scenes that are like smaller movies put into one movie. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and Florence Pugh just being like, fuck everybody. Like, I'm not going to the premiere. I'm not promoting it. I'm working on something else. And this movie is in the past. Like, whew.
Didn't she go to the premiere, but she went to nothing else?
She did not go to the premiere. She went to, I think, a different premiere and then met up with them afterwards and took some pictures on the red carpet, like towards the end. But then, like, or went to it, took the pictures, and then bailed out and went to like Italy or something, or Greece. Yeah. And then she just started doing press tours for like her other movie. She's like, I'm good. But she didn't go to any of the panel interviews. She didn't do any of the like press junkets, like nothing. According to her, it was, Olivia Wilde's unprofessional behavior.
Yeah, she said it was apparently bad.
Yeah.
She had very choice words, and wow, this would have even been worse. I didn't even know this. Harry Styles replaced Shia LaBeouf.
Yes. So, do you know about like how that went? So, what happened with that? Okay, so Shia LaBeouf is originally cast to be in the movie with Florence Pugh. So the entire cast is the same, but Shia LaBeouf is in it. And according to Olivia Wilde, Shia LaBeouf was removed because of his erratic behavior, overall arrogance. He's just a difficult person to work with, very rude to the other cast, and that she fired him from the movie. Shia LaBeouf said, that ain't what happened. It was more of just an argument with me and Florence Pugh, and I quit. And then Olivia Wilde retorts, that's not what happened. I fired you. And then he actually showed all of the text messages and stuff and phone calls where she said, and voicemails where she was like, no, we want you back. We want you back. Like, come on, do the movie. Like, you're perfect for it. And so people are like, oh, Olivia Wilde's a liar. Yeah. And then he replaced him with Harry Styles. They immediately start an affair where Olivia Wilde's cheating on her husband, Jason Sudeikis. Then Jason Sudeikis they divorce during the filming of the very, very early pre-production. And she just ends up hanging out with Harry Styles. And Florence Pugh said that it made everyone on set like super uncomfortable. They didn't want to be there anymore. Yeah. Nobody even really wanted to do the movie because it was just very inappropriate.
It would.
Well, it happens a lot with a director and an actor or two actors starting a relationship. It happens all the time. But the reason why it's never like a big thing or like a negative thing is because they're usually outside of the set being in a relationship. Like, it isn't like they're not like making out on the set, but apparently that's the kind of stuff that was going on with this. Was that it was very like touchy feely all the time. And it just was like, it made them very uncomfortable. It made everybody very uncomfortable. So, yeah.
Oh my God.
Pretty interesting.
Like that sounds horrific. Yeah. But you're right. Like, before the premiere for this, the news about all this lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yes.
And for Florence Pugh, which I would 100% again, you are currently poised to be a pillar of the MCU moving forward. You don't want to be dragged into this garbage.
No.
And have your name tarnished.
Right. And she's like a very talented actress who, by all accounts, is very, but very professional, super hardworking, like the exact type of person you want in a movie, like talented and professional. Like, that's the two things that, a director will look for in an actor is like, do you show up on time and are you good at your job? And like, do you have things like, are you organized? Like, they're looking for those three things. Like, are you going to make us run late? And like, if you're not, you're good. And she apparently is in like that boat of like, no, like a talented professional actress. And
no one says a single bad thing about her. Like, I've never seen anything bad about her. And, even, obviously with Marvel, everyone's super excited for her to be at the forefront and people clamoring now, like still wanting to see her in more movies right now.
Yeah, exactly. Same. I mean, I feel the same way. Like, I think she is like, I think I saw her in this movie called like Malevolent. Malevolent. I think that was the first movie I ever saw her in. I was like, damn, like, who is this? Like, very like good actress. And this is not like an amazing movie, but yeah. And then I saw like Midsommar and like, it's like, Florence Pugh is like very talented.
So, I think the first thing I saw her in was Fighting with My Family.
Oh, she
Is it
is
called
in
Fighting
that.
with My Family?
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot she's in that.
And when she was in Black Widow, I didn't really take any notice because she's got black
Yeah.
hair in Fighting with Her Family. And then when I saw Black Widow, I was like, you look familiar.
Yeah.
And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh shit, you're the same bird.
Yeah. Exactly. No, she is, very, very good actress, but she did not seem to enjoy making this movie. And the movie, like, just to actually talk about the movie,
Yeah, I was to say, what was your thoughts?
it's pretty good.
Scrape away all the scum.
It's not bad. Like, it is. I kind of wish I didn't know any of this, like, backstory stuff, and I would have just watched the movie, because the whole time I'm watching it, I just can't stop thinking about, like, how miserable they probably were making this movie, and it kind of comes across, but not really, because Florence Pugh, I mean, just to, I guess, really show up, like, amazing, just is so, like, incredibly good in this movie. So for somebody to not even want to be there and be this good, like, God, that's
this professional.
Exactly. Like, I mean, she is for sure the star of the movie. Like, Harry Styles, obviously massively famous, and he is good, but he's not in the movie that much. I mean, comparative,
because it's a Florence Pugh movie.
Very much. Which Olivia Wilde was originally going to play that role and direct it. And then she decided to step away into, like, a smaller role so that she could focus more on directing. And that's when they cast Florence Pugh. So there's
currently right now,
yeah,
it has 39% on Rotten Tomatoes and 74% on audience score.
Well, that's not that surprising. It's not a critically acclaimed film by any means. It's very much a 2-hour episode of Black Mirror. I don't know if you ever watched Black Mirror, but
no, but I do know about that movie because about that show, and I've been meaning to watch. But you're right; it's meant to be. It's a psychological.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that's, like, really unsettling or a little too perfect. Starts becoming unsettling, and then there's a big twist. And it's technology related. So Black Mirror. That's the blueprint of every Black Mirror episode is like, oh, this isn't normal. And then look at how technology can ruin your life. This is that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you enter the Matrix.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. I mean, it's basically, not to spoil anything, but it's like this.
Oh, no, you can spoil it.
Well, it's this group of people.
Spoilers.
All right, here's the spoiler. So it's a group of people living in what seems like the 1950s in a very, like, Leave It to Beaver, perfect suburban life where the husbands work, the wives cook steaks every day, and they dress in dresses, and it's like Tim Burton-ish, like Edward Scissorhands. You know how, like, all the cars match the color of the house, like that weird creepy stuff.
Like, what's that movie? What's that movie with Tobey Maguire?
Pleasantville.
Somerville?
It is exactly like Pleasantville. But I don't know if you ever heard of the Stepford Wives or seen the movie or read the book, Stepford Wives, the Ear 11 book.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so so that's kind of similar. Like, these wives are, like, robotic in the way that they're just like, oh, we submit to our man because it's the 50s, blah, blah, blah. And then there's this guy who's the leader of the community, played by Chris Pine, who is like, no, we want to make our world great again, where we don't worry about technology. We won't worry about the struggles of modern life. Like, we live in this beautiful world out in the middle of the desert and everybody's happy. But people suddenly start to be not so happy, and then things get weird. Then it turns out that they're actually living in modern times, but they go under this weird thing where they put this shit in their eyes, like this, like contraption thing that shines under their pupils, and it makes them think that they're living in this world, but they're actually laying in bed in their crappy apartment. So there's the spoiler, and Harry Styles has been doing this to his wife the entire time. She doesn't know that it's happening. Florence Pugh. It
reminds me of, like, Total Recall.
It's very Total Recall-ish. So, like, in the real world, Florence Pugh is a nurse who works, like, these 18-hour shifts and is miserable or seemingly miserable, and Harry Styles is unemployed. He's like this kind of bum. And he decides to basically get involved in this group that are living in this fake world by buying the equipment and stuff. And he puts his wife, Florence Pugh, into that simulation and just leaves her there so that she can live her life in this perfect world, while he goes to work, like all the husbands go to work, and they're actually leaving the simulation and doing their normal job so that they can pay for this equipment. And then when their shift is over, they put the thing back on, and suddenly they're driving back home, to their wives. So it's actually a cool story. Like, it's what I'm into. Like, I like weird psychological thriller type things. It's just, it should have just been a Black Mirror episode. That's it. It should have been shorter. There's a lot of like slow build up, but I don't know. I actually thought it was not that bad of a movie.
But it's that's a terrible thing. Is that what happens with controversy? It can make or break a movie.
Yeah.
And something we mentioned quite earlier is Harry Potter and the Fantastic Beasts 3.
Yeah.
That was already limping to the box office because of everything with Johnny Depp.
Right. And that's why they're not doing the new Pirates with Margot Robbie. How they were going to, basically redo Pirates of the Caribbean with Margot Robbie. And they've already canned it because so many people are mad that Johnny Depp got bumped from that role.
Yeah. I when I saw that, I did not give a shit that Johnny Depp was going to be in or out of it. I was like, Margot Robbie, Pirates of the Caribbean, you tune that theme. And if she plays like the main lead, similar like Johnny Depp, I'm like, sold. That's money on paper.
Yeah.
But
no, people they love Johnny Depp, man. they love the dude. I mean, they don't want him taken out of these roles in it. But it's unfortunate for the other people who are involved who have nothing to do with this stuff. Like I feel sorry for Nick Kroll. Like, he's in a movie that everybody seems to hate that really isn't even that bad of a movie, and he's good in it. He has a smallish part, but he's pretty good. Chris Pine's really good. They're just getting dragged in this stuff because, like, by proxy, which is unfortunate.
By proxy,
it's unfortunate because they are good, and the movie is actually good. Like, I mean, I don't, it's not fucking The Godfather by any means, but like, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. So
it's like not bad, but you're right.
Pretty good.
That's how it can all get dragged down because of it. And that's the thing is, when people look back, what do you like? In a year's time, when you think about "Don't Worry, Darling," what's the first thing that's going to come to mind?
Harry Styles spitting on Chris Pine.
Or the drama.
Yeah, this is gonna be the first thing you think of is Chris Pine looking down and looking up like, what the fuck? And then them both pretending like that didn't happen afterwards.
Yeah, I know.
No, he spit on
then,
you. We all watched it. Like, what were you reacting to then? What was Chris Pine looking down at and then looking up like what would he have done that for other than that?
You douche.
Yeah. Like, he was like smiling like, if we were not in public, like, I would just knock the shit out of you.
I would strike you.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, that's right. Because he's and the thing is, like, how no one else saw it, but the camera saw it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And by that measure, millions of people saw you do it. And it's like clear as day. You walk up, spit on him, and then sit down.
Sit down and like, we'll watch this movie,
But it's also because
quietly?
Chris Pine is super good friends with Jason Sudeikis. So that's what a lot of the problem was, is that the whole rumor of them having the affair was started by Chris Pine. I mean, it obviously ended up being true, but Chris Pine, was in Horrible Bosses 2 with Jason Sudeikis. And apparently they've been like super good friends ever since then. So he was the one who was like funneling the information to Jason Sudeikis saying, hey man, like, your wife's cheating on you with Harry Styles. I don't know what to tell you. Like, so that's why Harry Styles and Chris Pine have this like beef, So,
well, I like that. How dare you tell her husband that we're going on an affair? like, dude, you broke the bro code.
That's Harry Styles' like ideas. Like, he broke bro code and, ratted him out. It's like, dude, like, they're married and have kids. Like, this isn't like and obviously, it takes two people to have an affair. So Olivia Wilde's just as guilty of it. But like, it's not, you can't do that. Like, you shouldn't. No, it doesn't work out well.
No, that's the thing. But that's That's Don't Worry, Darling in a nutshell. But to come towards the end of this episode, what are you most excited for next year, movies, TV shows wise, that you're really looking forward to, especially the fact that we are currently 5 weeks away to 2023.
Yeah, God, dude, that's crazy. I mean, I would say I get more excited for like these kind of like more lately, these like sort of smaller, more like, I guess you'd say like independent films. And I've really kind of shied away from a lot of the like big movies. So like, I'm not as excited for like Marvel movies as I would have been, you know, in the past, or any of these like let's remake a movie from the 80s. Like I'm like, that stuff is just not that excited. So like I said earlier, I'm excited for Haunted Mansion, you know, the Disney's Haunted Mansion. I think that's going to be great. And apparently there is going to be a Hercules live action remake. And I am very excited for that.
I totally forgot about it. That's a Disney film I'm excited for. Everything else, Hercules and Hades, and I'm really excited for that.
I would love to see the casting, you know, like how that works. Oh, they're also doing a Snow White, and it looks not great.
Yes.
Yeah, I am not excited for that. But the Hercules movie I am very excited for. I'm kind of curious to see the new Avatar just because it took, you know, 30 years to make. But I don't expect it to be good because the first one sucks. I mean, it's just Pocahontas, but, you know, in space.
I know. Essentially, I have this running bet with one of my mates from another podcast called the Nerdos podcast, and the bet is the fact that the Black Panther Wakanda Forever will make more money than Avatar 2.
Oh, wait, which do you have?
I have that Black Panther will make more money.
Damn.
But his argument is that Avatar will make more money because of the fact it will appeal to a broader audience. And I said, that's true.
Yeah.
However, if Fast 7 is not proof of anything, death sells.
Oh my God, you're right. But okay. But I don't see, the problem is that I don't think, this is going to sound horrible. I don't think that many people care that Chadwick Boseman is dead anymore. I told you it was going to sound bad. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it has... Okay. If that is true, then why didn't Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus do well after Heath Ledger died? I mean, obviously it's not a Marvel movie, but I mean, it is a horrible movie and everyone hated it. So, and that's Heath Ledger's, last movie. That should have been a bigger movie than it was.
That's right. An argument could be made is because The Dark Knight overshadowed. Well, right.
And he did die before then, so to a lot of people, that was the movie that was his last movie. So yeah, that is true. That is true. And to an extent, Dark Knight probably wouldn't have been as big had Heath Ledger not died while they were making it.
No, and I don't get me wrong. I still think that to this day, if he was still alive, we would still be talking about the Joker as much as we do now.
Oh yeah, yes. It's top 5 greatest acting performances of all time.
But you're right. I don't think it would have made money because I think it was. Oh God, I still remember getting told it, and I'm sure it was only like a month out, if that, when he passed away before the release of The Dark Knight.
It was right before it was coming out. Yeah. It was. I mean, like probably a month or so, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it was right before it was coming out. So
yeah, it was right before it was about to ramp up. Because I still remember me being how old I was. Hearing it, and the first thing I say was, "Did he finish The Dark Knight?"
Well, dude, I mean, I kind of thought that too. I was like, so what do they do about this movie? Because they had already started showing trailers for it, and you hear like the voice and stuff, and you're like, oh my God, that's Heath Ledger. It's like a, sort of deep voice. Like, you're like, that's him.
This is the guy from Brokeback Mountain.
Like Heath Ledger, he's the biggest what if in, I think, Hollywood history. Like, what if he didn't die that day? Like, what movies have come out and what roles have
Mhm.
happened that would have been given to Heath Ledger. I think everything, Matt Damon, Jake Gyllenhaal, I think everything they've done would have went to him first, and he would have passed.
I
you know, or
agree.
said yes. Like, or would he have been in the Marvel universe? Like, probably not, because he was kind of like already saying like, I don't ever want to do like a big budget movie ever again. Like, that's why he was making these like movies with Terry Gilliam, and he was supposed to meet with Steven Spielberg that day and talk about making a movie about the Chicago 8, which is like, you know, the it's like the Democratic National Committee riots. They ended up making it on Netflix with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Sacha Baron Cohen, but they were going to make it with Heath Ledger, and he was supposed to meet with Steven Spielberg that morning. So he was going to be making like more dramatic, smaller movies. So, but it's, I don't know.
I think it was Christopher Nolan mentioned in one of the interviews that like one of the last conversations he had with Heath Ledger was they were popping ideas for the Dark Knight Rises, and Heath Ledger was on board for that. He was like, "This is the direction we could take the character."
Right. Well,
for me, that's a big what if. It was like, what would the Dark Knight Rises would have been with the Joker?
Well, it was going to be Johnny Depp as the Riddler.
Yeah,
that was the big thing was that had Heath Ledger had done the movie as they were planning, that Johnny Depp was going to be kind of brought in as like a secondary villain to help the Joker, and he was going to be the Riddler, and they were thinking about having somebody play the Penguin. That was like the thing. And then whenever Heath Ledger died, Christopher Nolan didn't think that idea of Johnny Depp as the Riddler would have been strong enough, so he went with Bane and Tom Hardy.
Which, arguably, to me, I'm like, hey, Tom Hardy did a fantastic job as Bane. I don't care what anyone says about the Dark Knight Rises.
It's incredible.
He is an absolutely imposing force and completely makes you think he did. You're going to break Batman, which he did straight up. And that every time I see that scene, I'm just like,
he's so good. I mean, have you ever seen Bronson with Tom Hardy?
I've seen clips of that.
You need to watch. That's the movie that got him the role, because Christopher Nolan watched Bronson and was like, that's Bane. But it is, I mean, Tom Hardy is incredible. But like, I mean, he's a tiny little guy too, which is crazy. I mean,
he is. I still can't believe that one of his major roles was a Star Trek villain.
Yes, Nemesis, Star Trek Nemesis. Yeah,
and
Black Hawk Down. He was in Black Hawk Down, but that's whenever he was a crackhead. I mean, it's a little different.
That's right, he was in Black Hawk Down. I forgot he was in that. Yeah. But like, look at him now. Like he, you want him in everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's like a black belt. He has a black belt in jiu-jitsu now. Does these like jiu-jitsu tournaments? Like,
yeah, a month ago I saw that. He just randomly went into it and won. He's like, hey.
Yeah, dude, I like that dude a lot. Like, I like all of his movies. Like, Locke. Locke is an incredible movie that's just him, like, in a car. Like, I don't know. But, Heath Ledger, man. That is a big what if. Yeah. Like, fuck James Dean, any of those other guys. Like, what if Heath Ledger hadn't died? Like, what movies would he have been in? I mean, he is goddamn. He's such an electrifying person. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen 10 Things I Hate About You.
No, he's good in that. He's also good in.
He was 19 in that movie, which is crazy, or 18. Like, he's like a kid in that movie. He's like, God, man.
Yeah, he's good in that.
Ned Kelly.
It's not the Black Knight.
The Black Knight.
It's not the Black Knight. Knight's Tale.
Knight's Tale is incredible. Dude, I love that movie.
Yeah, where it starts off with We Will Rock You at the very start.
Knight's Tale is such
great.
And Ned Kelly, did you ever watch that?
I've seen
Ned
clips
Kelly
of it.
Great. I mean, it's better than the fucking Mick Jagger one, but I mean, Heath Ledger is, or Lords of Dogtown. He was in a lot of these like kind of obscure movies, like The Order. The Order is a great movie. But yeah, man, that's an interesting one for sure.
It'd be a big, it's a big. You perfect. You sum it up with James Dean. What if? What we have seen him go into. And if he ever did want to jump ship and go to Marvel, like who would he played? And I always look back and I think to myself, you look at 2008, and we both got The Dark Knight and Iron Man in that movie, and 12 years later, those effects of those movies coming out are still felt today.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially with Iron Man, and I think DC has fumbled the ball quite a bit. They have not done anything, I would say, that's very special since Dark Knight. I mean, not, just with any DC characters. Marvel definitely
not in the same lot,
not even
in the same
close. But it is interesting to think which Marvel character would Heath Ledger have been?
Yeah,
like Thor, maybe. Like if he got huge. I mean, I don't know. Like it is interesting. Or Loki. Like it would have been a cool Loki.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see him playing a Loki. But you're right. It's a major what if. Sorry, pull him back. Hercules. I'm excited for. I just wonder, I wonder if that will spark with Hercules coming out. I wonder if that will re-spark the idea of a God of War movie.
Man, I've really wanted there to be one, but I don't know. I think that those movies just never do that well. Like the Clash of the Titans remake, the Hercules remake, or not remake, but they made that Hercules movie with I think Jason Momoa, but they just don't do well.
No, I thought you mean The Rock.
Well, The Rock did Conan the Barbarian, or is it the opposite? No, Jason Momoa did Conan, and The Rock did Hercules. Yeah, I mean those movies just. They don't do well.
Do you think they would have done better? Do you think it would be better if you've got Kratos, who's straight up slaughtering, is putting that politely? Oh, man,
maybe because there's already so much of a fan base for God of War that it would carry over. But I mean, hell, there's there's not that big of a Conan the Barbarian fan base, but. I don't know. I think God of War would definitely do better. I still don't think it would do great.
I agree. I think it would do good, but not great.
Right.
And again, you'd have to make it MA.
Yeah.
Look at those games. He rips a god's head straight off. He basically decapitates a lot of them, impales a lot of them.
See, I like Clash of the Titans. With what's his name? Sam Worthington. I like those.
I liked the first one. The second one I was a bit like,
Is it?
But the first one is
it Clash of the Titans that has Liam Neeson and Ray Fiennes as Zeus and Hades, which is, a huge callback to like Schindler's List, where they were like the hero and villain of those. Which I remember when the trailer came out, I was like, oh shit, like that's Schindler's List, like the hero and villain, like that's crazy. And Ray Fiennes is the greatest villain actor ever.
He was good as Hades.
Yes,
that was a good casting.
The whole cast is amazing. They did a perfect job with casting. Sam Worthington is a great actor. And Liam Neeson's a perfect Zeus. Anytime you need a god, Liam Neeson's a good one.
Damn right. The fact that you've got Cryogen.
Yeah.
You've got the guy from Taken. You've got the guy who played Azrael from the one, which
Aslan.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And he's now playing Zeus.
Yeah, and he saved hundreds of Jews during the Holocaust.
That's the hero.
That's got to be top of my list is Hercules. Everything else, I just kind of think I try not to get my hopes up. That's been a problem. Is I get so focused on a movie that it won't come out for another 10 months that by the time it gets here, I have blown it to this unreachable standard, So I kind of just say,
because you're being so
exactly
excited.
like I did it with Batman, and I was disappointed, but it wasn't even because it was a bad movie. It was because I had in my head envisioned it to be the perfect movie. Which how could it be?
Yeah, this is gonna be
right.
this. If I besides Marvel, aside because and DC aside because obviously I'm excited for a bit of those movies. A movie I'm excited for next year that's not one of those is Oppenheimer.
Oh, yes. I am super excited for Oppenheimer. I think that's going to be great.
Fully agree. I'm thinking it's Christopher Nolan. It's about the guy who made the atomic bomb. You've got Cillian Murphy. You've got Florence Pugh. You've got Matt Damon. You've got Robert Downey Jr. Like the cast is incredible. And I'm like looking at going, I just want to see this for just because I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. Even besides The Dark Knight,
same.
The Prestige, Inception,
Memento. Memento is
Tenet,
one of my favorite movies.
That's one of the ones I need to still watch.
Memento is so good
from his catalog.
Yeah. Memento's great.
But yeah, Tenet is
Interstellar.
Tenet for the first time. I'm like, I still don't watch Interstellar.
Oh no way! Okay.
I know. I have a few people tell me, I'm like, you have a movie podcast, you like sci-fi, and you haven't watched Interstellar. I'm like, no.
You can't watch everything, so fuck them. But yeah.
No. But Oppenheimer, they've released a teaser, and even from that, I'm like, I need to see this. I can't wait.
That's one, and Killing of the Flower Moon, I think is what it's called. It's a movie coming out with, I think, De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
It's a Scorsese movie.
Is it Martin?
It's going to be great. Which they were supposed to make Devil in the White City, Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio. Which I don't know if you know that story, but like basically America, like the U.S.'s first serial killer. This dude named H.H. Holmes, who killed people during the World's Fair in 1893 in Chicago. Like basically built this hotel that had like trap doors and like secret hallways, and he just lured women into the hotel to be like, oh, you can stay here while you're having fun at the fair. And then he would kill them. And he was going to, it's a crazy story. And Martin Scorsese was supposed to make it with DiCaprio as H.H. Holmes. And I think they abandoned it to make Killing of the Flower Moon. So I'm watching this hoping that it's like basically to be like, all right, let's see. I hope this is better than what that Devil in the White City would have been. Cause
if you stop doing this, there must have been something special in this that you thought to keep going. But you're right. I saw that. I saw that was also coming up next year, but I'm trying to think what else. But Oppenheimer would have to be my number one non-superhero related movie that I'm super excited for. But now you've got me more excited for Hercules because I was thinking that was such more further away.
I mean, it may be. I don't think they've actually given a confirmed date, but
no,
because it wasn't part of the Disney Expo, which they usually tell you everything. So it might be 2024 actually, but oh wow.
It could be. But Cody, do you have any final words?
No, I think we went off on a lot of tangents, so I'm pretty sure I covered anything I'd want to talk about. No, man, just I appreciate you having me on. Like for real, this has been a blast. Like, I mean, I can talk about movies all day and my opinions of movies and different actors, directors. So, I mean, I'm always up for this.
Same here. Well, it would be an absolute pleasure to have you on again. That would be fantastic. You've been absolutely great to chat with. Especially, I honestly, I don't mind going on tangents. It's kind of exactly what my entire show is based off of how deep you can go.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't like structured conversation that much. I like to just whatever gets brought up. That's what gets brought up. Like you brought it up. You bring it up for a reason because it must be interesting to you in that moment. So hopefully we'll be to everybody else.
That's right. I think we did pretty good.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I feel good.
Well, everyone, thank you very much for joining with this episode. And please, we're going to put all Cody's links and everything in the bio. So please go check out his show, give him a subscribe, and definitely go check out his show. It's fantastic. And until next time, everybody, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.